This was booked as the Caleb Williams versus Drake Maye showdown, first pick in the draft versus the third pick in the draft. And it's rather obvious that Drake Maye won this battle. It was clear watching this game that as of right now, Drake Maye is the better quarterback. Caleb Williams was very indecisive, looking around, not really sure what he was seeing. He was confused, did not look comfortable in the pocket. He was taking a ton of sacks. We'll get into the sacks and the hits later on and what this defense did for the Patriots. But Caleb Williams deserves at least some of the criticism for the sacks that Chicago gave up. And we talked about that on Friday. We talked about this game previewing Bears and Patriots. And I had mentioned one of the big weaknesses of watching Caleb Williams this year with Chicago is the fact that he holds on to the football forever. And he takes way too many sacks. And you saw that yesterday. He was also very inaccurate. He was all over the place, spraying the football around. Drake Maye is supposed to be the guy that sprays the football around and shows that inaccuracy. Caleb Williams was plenty inaccurate yesterday. And if you're a big believer in body language, man, did Caleb's body language suck out on that field. And it wasn't only Caleb, it was also the rest of Chicago. The Bears just looked like they did not want to be there offensively. It was brutal. That's a rough watch. I got a friend who's a Chicago fan. We were texting back and forth, and he's done. He's beside himself. He's ready to move on from that coaching staff. And Caleb was not the guy who was looking like, let me lift everybody up here. He looked as frustrated as anybody. So Caleb did not have a good day. Drake Maye did not have a great day, but I do think he had a good day given the circumstances, which I'll get into in a couple of minutes. But he dropped 4 or 5 dimes. The pass to Austin Hooper on the sideline, that's a fantastic pass with great touch. The throw to KJ Osborne in the end zone. Unfortunately, Osborne stepped out of bounds. If he didn't, that's a highlight reel type play that everybody would be talking about today. Kayshon Boutte, the throw to Boutte late in the first half to set up the field goal before halftime. That was a fantastic throw. The other part of Drake Maye's game that I enjoyed yesterday was he took some profits. We always talk about taking profits, which means don't try to do too much. If it's not there, don't force it. Check down. Check down is your friend as a quarterback. A lot of people make fun of quarterbacks checking down. When it's necessary, a check down is a very smart play. And yesterday we saw Maye go through his progressions, didn't try to force it, and checked it down a couple of times. That's improvement. Take your profits. They converted some big third downs thanks to Drake Maye's play and Alex Van Pelt and his play calling, which we'll get to a little bit later. But the end of half says an awful lot about Drake Maye. It's the poise, it's the confidence, it's the situational awareness. It's playing within structure to find Boutte on that play about 23 yards downfield, right? Fantastic throw. It's a perfect throw to Boutte. It's a good play call by Alex Van Pelt. Boutte hands it to the ref, which is smart. But Drake makes that throw. He understands how much time he has. He gets down the field. He sprints downfield with the rest of the offense. He gets everybody lined up in time, spikes it so they can kick that field goal before halftime. That is tremendous poise from a rookie quarterback. That's understanding the clock, not speeding up. He didn't rush the throw to Boutte, right? He took his time, understood what was there, and made a great throw to him to set up that field goal. So when you look at somebody who's 22 years old, starting his 4th or 5th game in the NFL, to show that poise, that understanding of the clock, and the perfect execution to set up that field goal, that's great stuff. That is great stuff for Drake Maye. That's a fantastic series because of all the different elements. Making sure everybody is set, making sure everybody understands the situation, controlling the huddle, getting the guys up to the line of scrimmage. Just tremendous stuff from your rookie quarterback. And then we talk about the other things that aren't on the field that speak to who Drake Maye is as a QB at only 22 years old. Laura Oakman from the broadcast, she said this during the game, that the week of practice wasn't going great. And so Maye actually went to Alex Van Pelt and said, can I talk to the guys? And Maye talked about this in the postgame because he was asked about it. And apparently it was on Wednesday, and there was a messed up snap, and guys were just kind of out of sorts. And Maye saw that. He felt it. And he said, I got to talk to these guys. And he spoke to them. And Michael Wenu and others in that locker room yesterday said that what Drake Maye shared with them after that practice, the way he spoke to them, they picked up what he put down. And they thought they needed it. So you want to talk about leadership? You want to talk about a quarterback who understands his team, knows they're not sharp in the moment, and says, we got to get some of these things fixed? That says so much about him. Again, only at 22 years old. His post-game press conference. During Christian Gonzalez's post-game presser with the media yesterday, Drake Maye is sitting off to the side. Gonzalez has asked about Maye. Maye immediately, within like a second, cuts off Christian Gonzalez and makes sure that he points the attention to the defense and to Gonzalez and says, it's not about me. It's not about what I did. It's about what those guys did. These are little things, and they seem simple, but they mean so much in that locker room. And a lot of younger guys might not get that moment, right? The fact that he understood in real time to cut the answer off by Gonzalez, to not make it about himself, but to make it about the defense and to make it about Gonzalez, who's standing up there at the podium, to give respect and appreciation to his teammate in real time. That's a young man that gets it. I don't know if he's going to be great. I don't even know if he's going to be very good. He's off to a good start. But this post-game press conference stuff, getting the team together because practices weren't as sharp as they should have been, that is tremendous leadership from a 22-year-old man who is going through his rookie season in the NFL. He goes out there and he plays the way he played in Chicago. In Chicago, we could talk about how bad they are, and they are bad right now. The coaching staff is brutal. Talked about it on Friday. Was not surprised that the coaching staff struggled yesterday for the Bears. But in Chicago, Chicago's been tough to beat. They've won like 8 or 9 straight games before yesterday's game. Not an easy place to play. The weather wasn't, great as far as the wind goes. You have a lot of questions going in, and Drake just handled his business. Again, he wasn't great, but he was good enough. And when we talk about a performance from a rookie, we all have to also appreciate the circumstances. We've got to appreciate who he's playing against. Chicago's pass defense. We said this last week, getting you ready for the game yesterday. This is not hindsight's 2020, okay? We told you this. Chicago's defense against the pass is legitimate. One of the best pass defenses in football. They had a top 10 pressure rate in football. They played a ton of zone, which, Maye, he attacks man coverage. The one big scramble that Maye had was against man coverage. Is that a surprise? No. Because what Maye has done is he's taken advantage of defenses playing man, and he understands I can take off and pick up 8, 10, 12, 15 yards at a time. Chicago plays lots of zone. So those quote-unquote easy yards with his legs, they weren't there yesterday. So you have to think about the circumstances. You've got to think about the hand that was dealt. Going against one of the best pass defenses in football, going against a pretty damn good pass rush, windy in Chicago, tough place to play against a defense that plays a lot of zone. So they're taking one of your strengths away from you because you're not going to be able to run with the football a ton. That was a game where Drake Maye had to make plays within structure. He had to make plays in the pocket. He had to, yes, extend, but he had to make those plays with that extended pocket. He was not going to be able to run for 75, 80, 100 yards. And so that's the type of game that even if Maye plays well, means a lot because he had to do things that he's not accustomed to doing and wasn't, quite frankly, great at doing when he was at North Carolina. So his ability to go against that defense, against that pass defense within the structure from the pocket and be able to make as many plays as he did, that's a great sign. That is a great sign. It wasn't perfect. He had the terrible interception. He said he was trying to throw it away, and he didn't throw it far enough. Next time, I would suggest you chuck it into the second row, Drake. It was a bad interception. He had the late throw to Hunter Henry in the end zone, which should have been picked. It wasn't. He was lucky there. He did have some iffy reads. And I'll say it again because I said it this past week. He has to do a much, much better job at sliding. Get down. Before his concussion, he was actually doing a good job of sliding and getting down. Last 2 games, he keeps going, head forward. I don't want to see that. Slide, get down, save yourself. But overall, you once again walk away feeling good about your quarterback, especially when you watch that quarterback go against the guy who was drafted number 1 overall in the same draft.